There you have Saturn, the first ring. You see, when we come through the rings of Saturn, the soul is descending to eventually live on this earth with a material fleshly body. But it must go through all these polarizations. It must descend through 7 levels. And they are the 7 emanations, or the 4 emanations of the Jews. These are acquiring this atomic nature as it descends down to be hexed in matter. Okay? So you've got, the first ring belongs to Saturn. Do you know what his name is in Greek? No, Greek. Chronos. Chronology. Time. Chronometer. Right? He's the timekeeper. He keeps the time, the sine wave. That's why when we are born down here, when we get born down here, we're born in sin. Because we're born in the sine wave. The sine wave is through your body. Okay? And it's septenary. It's an octave. Look, every septenary is rounded off to an octave. So, you know, you've got an octave of music, which consists of 7 diatonic notes. Okay? There are 7 days of the week, there are 7 liberal arts, there are 7 everything, all right? You've got 7 vital organs in the body, 7 visible planets in the solar system, the 7 Elohim of Genesis. My God, the list goes on and on and on. I don't want to bore you. But these are the 7, because that's the number of physical matter. As these go around and create all their various shapes, like the particles of an atom, creating molecules and bodies and cells, cellular bodies, so do these guys here enable these physical bodies that we are carrying to be sustained and vitalised. They are the ones that are responsible. And we have those 7 chakras in our body exactly as it is here. The sun is always in the middle kingdom. It's in the heart. It's the heart chakra. Above the heart chakra, we have 3 chakras. That's the inferior world, which goes up to heaven, the pineal gland, the ruling, controlling endocrine gland body of the other 7 of the endocrine system. Okay, but below the sun is the infernal world, and ruled by Mercury, Venus and the moon. And these are the feminine ones. Gaia, Earth, the moon, Isis or Nephthys. Mercury is a hermaphrodite, so it gets to be, you know, bisexual. Venus is feminine, and all these are the boys in the inferior world, because they are to do with these. It's simple. It's just physics. Okay, so as we go down into Saturn's kingdom, he's also called Satan in the scriptures. We are in the kingdom of Satan, right? Satan has blinded the minds of the unbelievers, of course, because when we come from unconditioned consciousness and we hit those rings of Saturn as we descend and we accumulate those 7 vices, but we have to unlock those vices and turn them to virtues as we go back up Jacob's ladder. Well, once we hit Saturn's rings, we're in the kingdom of Satan. And he blinds our minds because he gives us Maya instead of the truth. And we go around trying to work it out, you know, and until finally we awaken. Until finally we break those, we get the energy flowing up and we get baptized in the Jordan River, which is the Eridanus. That's the Jordanus. When you get baptized, you know, it's no use staying in the lower chakras. They're useful for energy and vitality, for sure. But if we think and live in there, we're never going to get it. We have to transmute. We have to grow. We are very, very fortunate. There's a consciousness descending upon us, and it's incontrovertible, it's inevitable, and we either benefit from it or we get lost on the wayside, because many will not grasp it and many will not benefit fully. Eventually they will. Everything returns back to the ether. We all become ethereal eventually as we ascend. And we must ascend from the solid molecular carbon 666, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electron bodies that we've been hexed with. And in fact, I've shown this many times, If you flat pack a hex, that's what you get. That's the hex. We've been hexed. Okay? Now, the Egyptians understood this because they placed the scales of Libra right down here in the underworld. In fact, they said the soul coming from Cancer, the moon, it descends and goes through the 7 orbs and reaches maturity as a soul and ascends out of Saturn in Capricorn. So the soul ascending from the moon and incarnating goes through the orbs. The moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. They are the 7. They are the 7 chakras that need to be activated. The 7 powers that were granted to us. You see, the vestments, as our souls come down, and Manly P. Hall's really good for this. You need to, if you're enjoying this subject, please get into the audio files of Manly P. Hall and study how he explains the vestments that these planets give us. You see, they are really vestments that are heavy to carry. They're not vestments that are in our favour because they subject our unconditioned consciousness. But never mind. We still, as we descend through those 7 heavens and we get prudence from Saturn and rationality from Jupiter and will from Mars and divine will from the Sun, and we get sensuousness from Venus and intellect from Mercury and imagination from the Moon. These vestments, it's up to us to activate them. If they stay asleep when we die, that's not going to help us ascend. Ascension is not a new age. Is not a new age idea. It's hermetic. We must ascend. We've got to get back to course. We're not supposed to stay in incarnation. We're supposed to wake up one day and work out our spiritual source and essence and return to it. It's bliss. That's where the bliss is. So what they did there, you see, is the judgment hall is down in Tartarus. So we must have our hearts weighed. And guess who's there? The jackal. He's always there. Well, because in Libra is where the lupus, the wolf, resides. So he's always there after the sun goes through the scales. And he is always there ready to judge the soul if it's going to ascend. And you see, Sagittarius is waiting at the last day of December the 21st with his arrow to send you off into the rings of Saturn.